Okay, I have given you a whole bunch of tools. The first tool that I want to talk about is the one where you get it solved and it looks like this. It was called completing the square. So I got my equation solved. It looks like this. What's that good for? Like, why do you even want that? Yes?
Gives you the vertex.
Gives you the vertex, which could give you the range. It could give you whether it's got a minimum or a maximum point. It could give you a lot of things. But besides finding the vertex, there's another reason you might want to do it. You just completed the square, you got this, and now what could you do? Yes? Yes, how could you find the x-intercepts? I thought we had to use a quadratic formula for that. You set y equal to 0. Would everybody please do that and solve? Gabby, what was the first thing you did? Oh, well, I'm going to give you a shortcut. I wanted to catch anybody that was doing that. I think you should do this. Add 3 to both sides. Because if you do that, multiply it all out and use the quadratic formula thing, it's got 16 parts. This, by adding 3 to both sides, you are now only 2 steps away from the answer. It's a lot faster to do this. Torsten, what's the next step for the problem I have on the board?
Square all of it.
You mean like that?
Yeah.
Now that is called square root, so yes, that's what we do, square root. And then the square root of 3 I just leave because, and oh, that tells me already, I'm not going to have imaginary numbers. How come I know there's no imaginaries? Because there is a square root of 3. If this had been the square root of negative 3, do you get, then we're in imaginary world? So this does have real x-intercepts because the square root we have doesn't have a negative in it. Okay, so absolute value of x minus 5. I hope you remember the absolute values. Then you split it into 2. X minus 5 is square root of 3. X minus 5 is negative the square root of 3. I'm going to add 5 to both sides, and I have, doing a lot of showing my work here I don't really have to do, but I have x equals 5 plus and minus the square root of 3. I jumped because there was 2, this one and this one, and I kind of clumped them together, and there you go. Do you get those Rx intercepts? Do you get they're not nice whole numbers, but they're decimals? All right. So, I want to make sure you don't forget all this other good stuff that we have taught you. If I gave you this form, it would not be a time to do complete the square. Complete the square would help you find the vertex. We don't want the vertex. We want the x-intercepts. Okay, so then you're going to do the quadratic formula. No, you don't always do the quadratic formula because, why? Tell me, why would this be a dumb time to do the quadratic formula? If I want the x-intercepts, why is this a dumb time to use the quadratic formula? Owen. So, what are the answers? If you know the answers, what are they? 4 and negative 7 are the 2 answers. That's why we don't want to do the quadratic formula, because we already got the answers. See, the quadratic formula would have got you that, like 16-step formula, but this is not the right time to use the quadratic formula because you already have something better. If you can factor it, you should. And it's factored, so cool. I've already got the answers. They're just sitting right there. Okay, next thing is, could you sketch this for me? I want to make sure you remember what this looks like. I don't need exact, I just need a sketch. I know you don't know the vertex, and you'd have to use complete the square, which would take forever. So just a sketch. Do you agree that 4 is part of it? and -7 is part of it? And do you agree that your line would be upside down? All right. Now, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is take a second. In fact, it'll probably take several seconds. But raise your hand when you have found the y-intercept. Just you and your brain, and you can use a calculator if you want because it'll make it go faster. Raise your hand when you have it. One person's done. So, Mr. Savage, can you tell me not the answer, but tell me what you used to get the answer so fast?
Plug in 0 for x.
Yeah, if you want the y-intercept, x is 0. Do you get, we're just multiplying that all out? That's all you do to get the y-intercept. What did you get, sir?
0, -84.
All right. I'm going to dispute your -84 answer because look at my graph. Does that look like the y-intercept's negative?
Not like,
I forgot a negative in there, I think. It's probably 84, though. Did anybody else get 84? All right, good. So it's an easy mistake to make. You forget that that's -4, or you forget this negative in the front. The two negatives multiply, it becomes positive. 84. It was right there. Okay, good. Now, if you had to get the vertex, you just multiply it all out, get general form, and then you can use complete the square. Be a pain in the butt, though. All right. Good talk. So, what else do you have to do today? Well, it's actually kind of a weird mix of super easy and super difficult. So, I'm only giving you 3 kind of challenging questions about using the quadratic formula at the right time, using complete the square at the right time, and then those 3 questions will be done after we do some basics. So if I was your golf coach, I would say playing golf is one of the best things you can do to get better at golf. But some time on the driving range where you just stand there and you hit a whole bunch of drivers, for example, and you just practice your drives. Is it because you don't know how to drive? No, it's because it would be good for you to be like really experienced so you can just step up and do it. Like if you were a golfer, I would probably make you do 100 putts at the end of the day so that you just become really fluid. But I'm a math teacher, so I'm going to make you do some easy math problems that should be just fluid and easy for you. They're called the first 20. So do not start that right now because it will be timed. All right? And if you already did, I can delete your attempt in a minute, but not yet. Right now, don't start that. Instead, because you're going to want, it's like a speed run. How many guys have heard of Diablo? Raise your hand if you've heard of Diablo. Only a couple people, I'm surprised. All right, it's a video game, and you run through this dungeon, and you're trying to, like, complete it, and it takes a long time. It's like, how fast can you do it kind of game. All right, so, well, we're going to take the top 20. We haven't even touched the top 20. We won't until second semester. We're going to get the first 20 so that you are getting, like, 19 out of 20 and fast. The fastest last year was I had somebody do it in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. 20 questions in 4 minutes. That's insane, I know. The fastest so far this year is 12 minutes. They got 12-minute top 20. Nope, first 20. So let's look at the first 20 and remind yourself what's on there. And I'm going to give you a chance to ask me for strategies like, this time I'm going to kind of assume you know how to do it, but I'll show you the fast way to do any of those algebra basics. So please, right now, go to algebraninja.com. algebraninja.com. When you're there, find the thing called First 20. In the first 20, Remember, not the basic 20, the first 20, you'll find it. There's only 4 choices. You'll find it. It's a logical choice. This is a little bit like practicing for your ACT because it's algebra. Find the first 20, open up any one of them, I don't care. Open up one of the first 20, not the basic 20, first 20. And you know there's something in there that either you don't know how to do, or B, they take you a really long time and you'd like some advice on how to do it faster. So right now, we're gonna have like 6, 7 kids volunteer and say, can you do number 6 or whatever? Okay, so find some that you think you'd like to see. And I'll give you some quick instruction so that these basics can be not only right, but you should be able to be fluent, just like really fast at them, really good at them. Ainsley. And people have different versions, so yeah, sure, but read it to me.
5x to the third power over 15x to the first power.
All right, on a problem like this, the first thing you do is look at these guys and just think, can I factor it? Because if I can factor it, I should. And the 15 will turn into 5 times 3, and why was that smart then? 5s cancel. And then you look at the x's and you'd say, if I can factor it, I should. Now, do you have to do this? No, it's actually slowing you down. But it's good to show why the answer is x squared, see? So think of the x's as separate from the numbers. And my final answer is, there's a 3 on the bottom and an x squared on the top. See, the 3 is on there, x squared on top, x squared over 3. All right. Next one. You want to know the fast way to do any of these problems? Ask me. Yes.
Number 19.
Read number 19 on your version. It is?
Factor out the GC of 2x squared plus 4ax minus 2x.
This is one of the weirdest kinds of factoring, but once you realize what I want, it's easy. The GCF is the greatest common factor. Do they have any common factors? Yeah, there's a 2. But there's also something else, x. So 2x comes out front, and this is what they mean. Now, to do this, really what you should do is divide both parts by 2, all 3 parts by 2x. That's the thing you're taking out. And if you've never seen this way before, this is a great way to explain what you get. See what's left when I cancel stuff? It's just an x. See what's left when I cancel stuff? It's a plus 2a. What's left here when I cancel stuff? I think there was a minus in between them. And it's minus 1. There we go. It's factored. If you don't really understand what just happened there, if you just multiply this back out, you'll get the original equation. That's the point of factoring, is that it makes it into a multiply problem. That's equal. That's the fast way to do that one. In fact, you could do it even faster. I was just trying to explain it. Okay, what's the next one that you'd want to see done the fast way? Ainsley. Read it.
In parentheses, 5a to the power 3 b to the power 4, and then close parentheses, power 2 times b to the 7.
All right. So always start these in the inside of the parentheses, but there's nothing in there that's like can be combined. So then I have to do the exponent, which is that squared right there. Don't forget the 5 squared is 25. And then this is just 2 different kinds. A to the third to the second is really kind of like this. A to the third, that's this one, to the second is like this. That kind you multiply. A to the 6th. So b to the 4th to the 2nd is b to the 8th. I'm not giving you the full explanation to why, but that's the kind you multiply. And then I'm left with a times b squared on the outside. Then you got to know that this kind is not multiplied. 25, a to the 6th, b to the 10th. Good. Any others you'd like to see done? Because you're all nervous that you're going to either be slow Or maybe you just don't know how to do it. Okay, be honest. I'm gonna see your score in like 15 minutes from now. And if you only get 10 right, I'm gonna know that there were 10 you didn't know how to do. So you should be asking me now if you don't know how to do them. Yes.
17.
Okay, read it.
16. Parentheses x minus 5, parentheses x plus 7. All of that divided by x squared minus 25.
All right, I have a hint for you. That bottom can be factored. So if you knew that, I don't think you would have asked the question. So now that I reminded you it can be factored, does this ring a bell? X plus 5 and x minus 5? That's how you factor x squared minus 25. And then, what do you think happens then? Yeah, do. There's your answer. See how fast that is? You just got to notice that that bottom could be factored. Again, if you missed it, it was x squared minus 25 normally. That's called difference of squares factoring. Difference means minus. They're both perfect squares. All of these can be done. I haven't done a dungeon run in a while. I don't think I could even beat the kid that got 4 minutes and 20 seconds, but these can all be done really fast if you know how to do them. Yes?
Just the simplified PEMDAS, it's number 10.
Okay, read it.
Simplified PEMDAS 2, parentheses 3, plus 2, parentheses x, plus 1, and 2 parentheses.
Okay. So if you're going to simplify this, all you can really do is start using the PEMDAS rules and go, what's first? Parentheses. Well, is there anything I can actually do with x plus 1? Not unless you tell me what x is. So then, I've done my parentheses. Is there any exponents that I can do? There isn't even any exponents. No. How about multiply? Well, then I guess it's time to multiply. So do you get this as a multiply? All right. So then I'm gonna show my work, which I wouldn't if I was trying to do a speed run here. But there, I just multiplied out the parentheses. Now I got some like terms that I could, inside here, I could look to add or subtract. Do you get the 3 and the 2 can go together and make 5? Now I got 2, 5 plus 2x. Now there's nothing left in here, so now you go back out of the parentheses and go back to multiply and divide. Multiply. 2 to the 5 is 10 plus 4x. That's it. Yes.
Number 14,
Read it.
it says negative 2n plus 1 greater than negative 5.
All right. Did I write it down correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So then my first job here is to go, wait a minute, these are just like an equation. I just subtract 1. Does that make me switch the sign? No. Divide by negative 2, does that make me switch the sign? Yes. And negative 6 divided by negative 2 is 3, and that's it. Done. It's just like an equation. It's just you got to know when to switch the sign. If you ever multiply or divide by a negative, you switch the sign. Yes?
Solve 3 plus steps of work. Solve 3 minus parentheses 2x plus 5 equals 4x plus 7.
All right, then I'll just do a speed run on this. You ready? Multiply, multiply. 3 minus 2x minus 5 equals 4x plus 7. I'm at least showing my work, though, because I'm a teacher. I kind of have to. Minus 2 minus 2x equals 4x plus 7. And then I'm going to get rid of the smaller of these two, so I'm adding 2x to both sides. That gets rid of the smaller one. Negative 2 equals 6x plus 7. Subtract 7 from both sides. I got negative 9 equals 6x. Then I'm dividing both sides by 6. 9, 6 is the same as, well, I better make sure I don't screw this up. 3's cancel. Negative 3 over 2. So it's just a equation that the classic mistake, honestly, is just forgetting to distribute this negative to the 5. That's tons of kids get that wrong because they don't distribute the negative to both things. Any other topic that you'd like to discuss? All right, then. Don't want to start, and if you already started, again, I'll delete your attempt and you can have a new one because you only get one attempt, and I want to time it. So how we time it is this. The minute you hit submit, start to the minute you hit submit, the computer will tell me how long you were in there. And so then we'll be able to tell your time. What we're not going for is to be like you want to dominate the world. Well, you can actually decide to dominate the world here if you want to be the fastest of them all. The main thing is, can you do a good job as in 19 or 20 out of 20? I'm giving room for one mistake because, you know, you're human and might make a puzzle mistake. Can you get 19 or 20 right and do it faster than 12 minutes? Or can you at least do it faster than you did it last time? And for some of you, honestly, we're still trying to get you to learn how to do some of these things. So maybe you can go from 12 right last time. I have the receipts. I know what you got last time. If you can get better than last time, awesome. All right. But before we start that, like I said, don't start it until I tell you to. We're going to go and assign which problems off the extension review worksheet you're going to do. So open up that review worksheet that is called, I think it has the word extension as the first word. Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Open that up, cross off number 1. Because we did something like that already. And then you're going to do problems 2, 3, and 4, and that's it. So you should have time today. You can cross off everything after 4. You're going to do problems 2, 3, and 4. You should have time today to not only get a pretty dang good score, like hopefully you'll get at least 17, 18, 19, but to qualify for my leaderboard, you'd have to have 19 or 20 out of 20, and I'll keep track of the time that you do it. Okay? So, for some of you that are competitive, awesome, get ready, strap in. And for some of you that are just like, okay, I don't want to compete, then all I'm asking is, do it better than you did it last time. Get a better score or get a better time. Okay? All right. So, before we start and before I say to begin, I should delete the attempts of people that already started. So, please say your last name if you want me to delete your try.
Kamakum.
Okay? Got it? Almost done deleting. Got it. Anybody else that started early? Well, I suppose I can be done here.